What's good, y'all? It's Hot Rocket, aka Mr. Highly Motivated, baby. Here to get you motivated, baby. And we in here in Laura and I's a Pacific Beach apartment here in San Diego, California. And we here for Motivated Mondays, episode number 27. And I'm going to speak and preach to you like a reverend today, because today our topic is embrace your critics, baby. That's right. Embrace your critics. Now, why I'm putting air quotes on the word critics is because we know for the most part what a critic is, but I think a lot of times we misjudge those who are judging, aka the critics, right? So a lot of times a critic is somebody who is usually judging something in which you are doing or just something in general. It's somebody that's giving you an unfavorable opinion, right? So a critic, usually the first thing we can think of is like a movie critic, like Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, they're out here giving us if it's a great movie or if it's a Rotten Tomato, right? So it actually helps us decide if we want to take the time and spend our time watching a movie, or if we should hit the pass and watch something or do something else. Now, a critic in general, I believe, is a good thing. Now, usually it's associated with a negative thing because for the most part, we perceive critics to be something that's giving us negative feedback, that's being judgmental, that is really just looking at the more pessimistic side of things. And I think by definition, by like Webster dictionary definitions, yes, that could be true. But I think in general, criticism is a fantastic thing. I think criticism has a negative connotation on it because it has that negative judgmental vibe to it. But I believe criticism is really a misinterpreted form of feedback. Now, criticism is how we grow. Let's say movies, right? They get a critique or a criticism and they have critics judge and rate them. Now, the movies in which come out, if they get low ratings, the critics get a low score, a lot of times that may be the death of a movie. Or that may be the opportunity for the director, the writers, the actors to all go back to the drawing board and make a better version of the movie in a part 2, in a sequel, or on the next movie they create, maybe they will use the feedback from the critics and the criticism to then go back to the drawing board and create something that is better and more beneficial for everybody. So in turn, things like Rotten Tomatoes, the criticism is helping the movies and the movie goer for a better overall experience and outcome. Also, think of Yelp, right? Yelp, we as people are able to go online and pretty much review any and everything, whether it's restaurants, whether it's stores, whether it's products. We can go on Yelp and we can review these things. These reviews or critiques, us, the critics, are the people that are giving the reviews. Now, a lot of times, these are positive reviews, positive experiences, right? And so we look to Yelp and or Rotten Tomatoes or these sources for other people to tell us if things are good or bad and if we should spend our time, our money, our energy on these things. So these critics, these critiques, these criticisms are actually positive feedback opportunities, and I look at as growth opportunities. So you want to embrace the critics, the critiques, really the feedbackers, really the people that are giving you the opportunity to grow, growth opportunities, the individuals that are investing in your potential and your future, aka the critics. You gotta embrace the criticism. Now you gotta embrace the feedback, because criticism, which a lot of times we flinch at, I don't want criticism. I don't know if I really want that. I don't know if I'm ready to hear that. A lot of times the things that we get criticized on or that we get feedback on that we think we're not ready for, that's when we need to hear it. There is no good time to get feedback. There is no good time to get criticism. There is no best time to hear something that you can improve upon. But at the end of the day, the moment that it happens, the moment that it occurs, I believe that is the best time to hear it. Reason being, it's like, let's say if a dog goes to the bathroom in the house. Let's say a dog poops in the house. If you come home and the dog pooped in the corner and it's been 6 hours and you try to grab I'm sure many of us have done this before. You've had a puppy and you try to put their face in. That's what we were taught when we were younger, right? Put their face in it so they can learn. But if hours and hours have passed and you're putting their face in their poop, they're not learning anything. They're like, yeah, that's my poop. What are you trying to tell me? But if you catch them in the act and give them feedback like, hey, don't do that in the moment, and then you show them a better opportunity. Of course, criticism without proper redirection or feedback without redirection or action steps is useless. So if you don't take them outside and show them the other opportunity of, hey, this is a patch of grass, this is where we want to do this, then they won't be able to grow. So we have to use this criticism, this feedback as growth opportunities and look at it as blessings. I believe we should embrace our critics. Now, critics Critics a lot of times outside of like Yelp, Rotten Tomatoes, or like let's say having a pet and trying to criticize their pooping in the house or whatever the situation is, critics a lot of times can be our teachers. It can be our bosses. It can be our managers. It could be our parents. It could be our mentors. It could be anybody that is giving you informal or formal feedback or criticism, or that's giving you reviews. It could be your coach. It could be anybody, right? So I believe criticism, feedback from mentors or individuals that you're learning from is essential to maximize your potential. I believe that if you don't have somebody that you're looking up to, or if you don't have somebody that you're able to look at and say, you know what, they're better in these departments and I'm going to use them to help me become better in those departments. If you don't have somebody in your life to help you get better, then you're going to plateau. We've all probably heard this, you are the sum total of the 5 closest people around you. But if the 5 closest people around you are stagnant, if they're plateaued, if they're stuck, if they're not making progress, if they're not constantly challenging, trying to learn, trying to grow, trying to become better, how are you going to benefit from their presence? Vice versa, if you're the only one that's putting out these vibes, then they're energy vampires and they're taking from you. So I believe that it's important to be around these so-called critics, these individuals that are giving us these opportunities to grow. It's important for somebody to say, hey, do you think that decision is the best for you? And if somebody's actually doing that, then they're in your best interest. So you want to embrace that person. If you have a manager that goes, hey, you did this at work and this was fantastic, but I believe that, if you try to do this, this, and this on top of doing this, which was fantastic, then you might have more success. If somebody is taking the time out of their day to give you feedback to make you better, not just to bring you down. Now that don't let me confuse the idea of somebody who's positive and giving you positive feedback and then somebody who's just trying to bring you down. That's a hater. That's a hater. Don't let the critic be misinterpreted with the hater, because I feel like a lot of these words can be interchangeable. A critic is somebody who's giving you feedback. A hater might be somebody that's just talking down on something in which you do. So if you have a boss and or a manager or a coach or a mentor or a teacher or your parent or an elder or whoever in your life, and they're like, I see that you're doing this. This is fantastic. They're giving you positive, and then they hit you with a growth opportunity and then another positive. I call it the positive growth sandwich, the positive growth positive sandwich, right? Because you need the buns and then the growth is in the middle of the buns. You know what I'm saying? But if they're giving you this opportunity and they're not just hating on you saying, that sucked, that was terrible, I don't know what you're doing, now that's a hater. But if you have somebody in your life that's going, first off, I want to applaud your effort. I can see your passion. I can see your enthusiasm, your engagement. Now, what I have noticed is when you approach X individual, they kind of shy from you. Now, once again, your enthusiasm, your excitement is great. But if you were to approach this person from more of their level standpoint, and so on and so forth, and if they hit you with this information, with a growth opportunity, with action steps, with things that you can actively do starting then going forward, then that is a critic, a mentor. That is somebody that is helping you. That is a critic that you need to embrace. You got to embrace those people. You need to bring those people closer. And a lot of people, they don't want to experience that uncomfortable feeling of growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Remember when we were young, when we were an adolescent and our bones, our body was getting longer, we started to grow, teeth fell out when we were babies and they regrew in, and we're not feeling comfortable in our bodies. That's growth. It was uncomfortable. Growth is always uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable because it's the unfamiliar aspects of change, it's a dark zone. It's a gray zone. You're like, I don't know what's going to happen on that side. I don't know. It's the uncertainty. It's the not knowing that makes us uncomfortable. But the not knowing is how we're growing. And it's on you for how it's going and how you interpret the information to decide how that criticism, that critique that you should be embracing, that you should be loving, that you should be thanking, it's on you to use that information, process it, and then turn it into action. Now, I will admit, I'm one of the first people to admit that when I was younger, I used to hate criticism. I always knew I had potential. I've always known that I was great. I always knew, I'm sweating because I'm getting juiced up about this. I've always known that I had that spark, that shine, that light, that gift, that goal, that thing, right? And I'm sure you do too. We all have it in us, but it's in different facets, different categories, capabilities. There are different things in each of us that is a given gift just from birth that we were born with. And a lot of times it takes a lot of deep soul searching and digging to figure out what that is. But the moment you're tapping into it, and if you're able to tap into it, and you are blessed with the opportunity to have somebody to help nurture and grow it, it's going to be uncomfortable. And I used to shy from that. Back when I was playing soccer, I would get hurt, I would cause fights, I would get injured because I was too aggressive and I wasn't listening to the feedback and the coaches that were giving me because my excuse was I didn't have a father figure, forget all these older guys, you don't know, so on and so forth. I used all these excuses. But in hindsight, if I would have utilized all the information I was given, I guarantee I wouldn't have struggled so much. I used to shine on the B and the C team, the C and then the B team. And then I would get up to the A team and I would start to really get some friction, especially on these top tier club teams playing the top tier clubs in the state and out of state and on the West Coast and all across the country. And what I found was I was getting a lot of friction because I was being challenged at the level I needed to be challenged to get to the next level. My goal was to go pro at soccer when I was younger. And I got injured, I got in some legal trouble, I went through life, and obviously it wasn't my life path, which I was just blessed to figure out, but I went through a lot of back dirty roads when I could have stayed on the straight and narrow and gotten things done a lot quicker, a lot more efficient, a lot more precise, but I chose to take the harder routes because in my head, that was the only way. That was how you had to do it. My mom did it that way, I'm gonna do it that way. If you don't figure it out on your own, you're never gonna figure it out. It's on you, And in reality, we can use these resources, these mentors, these critics, aka these coaches, these teachers, these parents, these individuals in your life that want to make you better. Use them. Use these critics. Embrace these critics. Don't let them go. Use them. There are people out here that are telling you, I want to help you. I want to help you. And sometimes they don't tell you directly, I want to help you. They're through action. They're just saying things to you. They're dropping jewels. They're dropping gems. They're dropping information because they've been through things that they're trying to help you avoid road bumps and detours if you listen to them. And it's up to you to decipher the code. It's like the Matrix, right? You got to ask the right questions. But these individuals, and you'll know who they are when you get in the conscious level of, I want that. I want the criticism. I want the feedback. I want the reviews. I want I want to be watched and quote unquote judged I think judgment comes with a negative connotation, but I want to be reviewed. I want the feedback. I want to be known. I want to know what I can work on. And if you approach things in the aspect of what can I do to be better? Please point out what I can improve upon. When you tell people that, they sense a certain level of maturity that will make people magnetized to you. They will just, they will not be able to get off of you. It's like a fly on fruit, you know what I'm saying? Like a fly on poop, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna want to be around you. They're gonna want to help you. They're gonna want to nurture and grow you. It's like watering a plant. You're gonna be the plant and they're gonna notice that there's a couple leaves that might be wilted or a couple leaves that are kind of going this way and you want to they're gonna water you and they're gonna help get you back up and get you towards that sunlight so you can photosynthesis, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta embrace your critics. They're the only people, the only situations and just individuals that are gonna help you get to your top tier level. They're the individuals that are gonna help you get to the level that's gonna help you become the individual that helps others. And I believe our life, it's really this one big recycled circle of love and reflection and helping other people. And I believe my presence is to help others, but I can't help others unless if I accept help from others. Because if you learn how to accept help, you can help others more and you can help them help themselves and so on and so forth. And it becomes one big circle of love and trust and understanding. And you got to embrace those people. You got to thank those people. And don't forget to tell them, I appreciate the time. And like maybe they want a little bit of like, hey, well, what do you think? Hey, what do you think I can do? And you'll realize it's a two-way street, but you have to be willing to grow. You have to ask the right questions. You have to put yourself around people and in the situations and the scenarios that make you uncomfortable, that are going to force you to change, that are going to force you to be better. Because without those situations, without those people, without utilizing and asking for those opportunities, you will forever stay stagnant. I'm not going to lie, I've done a lot of growth on this couch with Laura. But this is not going to be my last couch. And this is not going to be my last video. And this apartment is not going to be my last apartment. And this is not going to be my last stop in life. And I see so many more things, but I have so many things that I need to learn. And I believe in life, we continue to go through life lessons until we learn the lesson, and then we'll move on. So have you ever felt stuck in life? Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a job and you're like, I just can't get out of the cycle? Or, man, I keep having these certain things happen to me. Like, I keep getting in the same relationship and I keep ending up with the same issues, and you try to blame the other person. Man, these people are whack and da-da-da. But then when you take the time to stop, you take the time to think, you take the time to look in the mirror and reflect and go, maybe it's me. Maybe I need to work on something. And when you realize and take some internal inventory and look at yourself and realize that everything starts with you, and if you choose to love yourself and ask the difficult, dirty, nasty questions that most of us avoid because it's uncomfortable and change and puts you in these areas and thoughts, and you reflect and you think of things that make you feel some type of way that you've been running from and avoid, and if you just attack it head on, instead of running away and trying to drown your sorrows, let's say in alcohol, or let's say you run away and you avoid people and you don't answer phone calls because you don't want to have that difficult question. But if you just stand up, if you sit up tall, and you really ask yourself the difficult questions and you attack these things head on and you deal with them, then you'll realize that monkey on your back doesn't even want to be there in the first place. And that monkey will disappear, or maybe it'll still be there, but you'll create a relationship with that monkey on your back, and that monkey on your back will become a new friend of yours, and y'all will have a mutual understanding. So you got to take the time to embrace your critics, embrace yourself, and be real with yourself. Because without those who are trying to help you, you will never maximize your potential. You will never reach your pinnacle. You will never get to where you truly were supposed to be. And this life, this life that we're living, it's up to us. Your life, it's up to you. It's up to you to get better. It's up to you to push further. It's up to you to grow and to change and ask those questions and be surrounded by those people. Those people will naturally come into your life, but you need to recognize them and appreciate them. Hug them, love them, embrace them, tell them thank you. Ask more questions. Ask them how they're doing. If maybe they're looking for some feedback, maybe, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, what do you think? Like, and then I'm telling you, if you take enough information from somebody, maybe they'll ask you, like, what do you think I can do? And when people start asking you questions, then they care about your opinion, they respect your opinion, and you should take that in high regard. So you got to understand that people are not here to hurt you, they're here to help you. There are people out here that will hurt you, and that's just the reality of life, but it's because they're hurt themselves. Hurt people hurt people. Happy people don't. Blessed people don't. People that recognize their blessings don't. Embrace your critics. Embrace your critics, and embrace your coaches. Embrace your teachers. Embrace your mentors. Embrace your bosses and managers. Embrace the people that can help you get to the next level. Because without those people, how will you be prepared to take their position? How will you be prepared to take it to the next level? Because if you have never been managed, how can you manage? If you have never been coached, how can you coach? If you have never... I'm not going to say, if you've never had a parent, how can you parent? That's not the case. But for the most part, if you've never been on the other side, how can you teach those if you've never done that or been through that yourself? So go through the tough times, embrace the tough times, thank those who are here to help you and help you on your journey, and embrace your critics. Just embrace them, thank them, challenge yourself to be better every day, and recognize your blessings, and realize that these individuals that are in your life, they're in your life for a reason, and you will continue to learn the lessons until you fully understand, accept, absorb, and apply that in which you are going through and learning. And then you will realize on the other side of that is everything that you've ever wanted and ever been looking for. That's it, baby, that's it. So embrace your critics. And I promise you, life will open up, your perspective will change, and your life will become everything you've ever wanted. And I'm only just beginning my journey on this. And I can't wait to hear about yours. And I hope this is helping you just reaffirm or even just open your eyes to these things in which that are out here. All right? So once again, it's Taj Rocket, aka Mr. Highly Motivated, here to get you motivated here in my apartment in Pacific Beach, San Diego, California. It's Motivated Mondays, episode number 27. Embrace your critics, embrace your fam, embrace your teachers, your mentors, your bosses, your coaches, your everybody, your managers, any and everybody. Tell your mama you love her. Tell your homies you appreciate them. Tell everybody you're thankful for the fact that they're in your life, whether they're doing you harm or good. Because at the end of the day, everything and everyone has something to teach us, whether it's negative or positive, and everything can be flipped on its head. All right? So flip it on its head, get ahead, have a great day, have a great week, and make the rest of your life the best of your life, baby. I'll see y'all next time. Holla, you know what I'm saying, baby?